The U.S. intelligence community on Friday released a long-awaited report on what it knows about UFOs, or unidentified flying objects. Some of the more than 100 instances it studied could be explained by atmospheric occurrences, foreign adversary actions, or other phenomena. But most of the incidents defied explanation. One person who knows that well is retired Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, a retired Navy fighter pilot. Alex Dietrich, welcome to the NewsHour. So tell us what you saw back in a training mission in San Diego.
So in November of 2004, off the coast of Southern California, we were preparing for our deployment, running training exercises, and when we launched, anticipating going to a particular airspace and running these training exercises, we were interrupted for a real-world intercept. We were vectored to try to get a visual tally on something that another ship in our carrier strike group was picking up on their radar. So we followed their vectors and we ended up getting a visual contact. There were 4 aircrew and 2 aircraft. So each aircraft is a cockpit with a pilot and a weapons systems officer. And so among the 4 of us, we picked up this visual tally on this UAP, this unidentified aerial phenomenon.
And what did it look like?
So we describe it as looking like a Tic Tac. It looks like the little breath mint in larger scale, but white, oblong, no apparent flight control surfaces, no apparent visible means of propulsion, and it was maneuvering in a way that we didn't recognize, that we couldn't classify, we couldn't identify. And
what do you think it is, looking back?
Oh, I'm not qualified to make that analysis. It's almost 17 years now, and I know there are a lot of folks who are curious and concerned about it, but I gave my debrief, gave what I could in terms of the information and data from that day, and I'll leave it up to the expert analysts to do their job and make that determination.
The report uses this language that there are UAPs who, quote, appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, move abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. Does that sound about like what you saw?
So I can't speak to what the winds were on that particular day. I don't know that we noted them, but it certainly did behave in a way, it maneuvered in a way that we couldn't explain, and we couldn't anticipate its next move. So normally when you're looking at another aircraft, we do a lot of BFM or aerial combat maneuvering, where we are looking at turn circles or turn radius and anticipating the next move of our adversary, or if we're scrimmaging with each other. And in this particular case, it just broke the mold and kind of blew our minds in terms of the way it was maneuvering.
The report talks about how maybe the number of people reporting these incidents is actually low because there was a stigma attached to reporting. Did you ever experience that? Was there a stigma when you reported, and/or did people respond to you strangely when you talked about it?
Sure. So I don't consider myself to be a whistleblower, and I don't, the media has been calling me and asking me to do these interviews, and as a military officer, I feel that I have a duty and an obligation to respond to those citizens who are curious and concerned about this issue. But if there is something that comes of this, I hope that it's a reduction in stigma, and that folks who do encounter something, whether it's in our airspace or in our waters, near a military exercise or just off of our coast, that folks will be encouraged to report, and to report up through the official channels, to actually do a thorough observation and capture it if they can on film or on video, and again to relay that up so that those who are qualified and authorized to do that analysis can put the pieces together and maybe solve the puzzle.
Alex Dietrich, thanks for taking the time during your cross-country move and talking to us from the car.
Yeah, thanks for taking this seriously.
Thanks so much.